What's going on? YouTube, it's your boy Brandon Berg. I know it's been a while. I just want to change up the scenery a little bit with the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the cruising around the city a little bit. But yeah, I want to just get back face to face. I actually want to get into a little bit of the topic. I'm gonna probably talk about the mass, this doc and this, this mass deportation everybody talking about. I'm gonna jump into that. I might jump a little bit about Chameleonaire, the rapper from Houston, just a little bit. I'll probably no. I'll go on and talk about that just for a quick bit. Actually, he actually post on Instagram about Mexicans and how Mexicans are ally and they help. We're from Houston. It's a huge population of Hispanics. And he basically said that to do business wise move. And he also, he probably got, he hangs with a lot of Hispanics. So he wasn't trying to rob off his fan base. It's the guy's his money. But, like I tell people, like I'm not run by Hispanic culture. You speak Spanish and, you know, Hispanic is basically a culture, but it got different variety of subcultures. Not every Hispanic eat tacos or burritos or shit like that. That's like a Mexican thing. A lot of different Hispanic groups eat entirely different cuisines. A lot of them is based in African themes, origins. A lot of them based of indigenous origins. That's basically what the food the Hispanics got. No different than what black people eat or whatever, because soul food is basically a blending of indigenous food and African food as well. So it ain't nothing it's very, very similar, but in the essence, very different. Probably the geographic area that these foods are coming from. But yeah, I actually made a comment on his link about it. On his post, I made a comment. I disagree with him with that, but like I said, each his own. But if you don't understand the situation that you're seeing before you, you're gonna be lost. But I digress. We definitely want to talk about this guy. He's author. He's like a psychologist, whatever. He's from Canada. Name is Jordan Patterson. He was talking about explaining about the white privilege and where the origin come from. And being from Canada, he don't know the culture and the subliminal culture of America. And a lot of things he was trying to talk about majority. And and say, well, it's majority and it's a majority rule country. And yeah, it's somewhat a majority rule country, but technically it's really not. When you're thinking about it, the United States is becoming more non-white. So in probably another 5 years, actually the white population will be a minority. So that's kind of like a false statement to really say. Maybe like 20, 30 years ago, yes, that statement would hold very strong and very true. But this is a new day and age and era. You can't really go on the gist of that. But he was talking about when he only went as far back as the civil rights and everything. That's when white privilege started. I said white privilege started from the day of the colonial. White privilege was already in a full effect. That's where slavery came from. Was white privilege. So his concept of Americanism and racism within white supremacy of Americanism society kind of basically have him shortchanged. Now he did acknowledge that it's the brought up the culture of in white families and being taught in the household that have a profoundly impact on white people. White people when they out there in society, that it favors them. He was right on that, but everybody kind of understand that. Um, yeah, it was just very interesting to see his outlook about it. You gotta really go deeper to the will. You gotta go into Jim Crow. White privilege wasn't. I mean, to me, I don't like to say white privilege. I'll just say white supremacy or organized racism because you took something that was a psychology ideology, and you turned it into an action as like in government, as making it law, and that's where society stems from. So he was halfway right and he was halfway wrong. Him being from Canada, he maybe didn't understand as in a degree. Now, I told a lot of people Canada had slaves just as well as everybody else on the Western Hemisphere. Not one place did not have slavery. Everybody had slavery. But yeah, I said Canada. So, but like I said, maybe it was the gist of it that he didn't understand. But I'll definitely leave the comment. I mean, leave the link so you guys can check it out. Um, but yeah, I could see he was kind of he was like he was talking about attraction and I mean, dude, racism don't fucking judge on look. They just judge on the fucking content of your skin, the color of your skin. There are no looks and nothing about that. So the guy was kind of like going everywhere, man. It was like a chaotic. It was like one of those you see in a NASCAR race, and you just saw a horrific crash. He burned. I mean, he was dealing with a crash and burn when he started trying to go compare beauty with with privilege. He was failing miserably. So yeah, but I'll let you guys see that link. Now I heard about RT. I was watching some RT. NPR actually covered it a little bit when I was listening to the radio, and BBC is in trouble with I think about fabric. They were fabricating the actual public opinion of Brexit. A lot of them said they were in favor of Brexit, and I'm not really sure. I have to go more in detail to it. This is kind of like new for me. I just learned it today, so I'll definitely probably put a link behind that so you guys can check it out. But yeah, man, like I said, if it's like I said, if it's true, man, sorry about that. If it's true, I mean, what can I say, man? It's gonna lose a lot of credibility and so far. But I really want to get into the mass deportation. Everybody's talking about, yeah, Trump is a horrible person, blase blase. Look, this ain't the first time American doing a mass transportation. I mean, mass deportation. Um, Actually, about 90 years ago, there was a huge deportation. They were deporting everybody. They didn't even care he was a citizen. It was between. They didn't really have the number. They had to kind of like estimate the number, but it was probably closer to the second numbers. It was between a half a million to 2 million. 60% of that was American citizens. So it was more racially. They said economically. It was during the beginning of the Great Depression. That's when the whole American economy crashed. Everybody losing job, money was lost. It was a really hard time living. So you can definitely understand that if you was a black person living at that time, it was triple time harder to live and survive. So, but yeah, man, they actually they blamed the Mexicans for the economy, and they wanted them out. So they basically, it was a government led campaign to drive them out. It was spearheaded by Hubert Hoover. He was the president at that time, 1929, and he has a Secretary of Labor, I think William Dork. It's a Doak. Dude, actually he was the one that created the Border Patrol at that time, and he was talking about um, the reason why the economy was such a bad shape was because of the Mexicans that's here, because they were taking our jobs. So he basically told the president, if if you can get if you can basically get rid of the Mexicans, the economy will be in better shape. And that's pretty much the ideology that they ran with. Uh, it was they also they used them as it was an excuse that they looked at them as inferior. They were inferior. They were dark skinned. They looked more indigenous than white. So to them, this it was almost like they were the inferior group of people that need to be dispersed or cleansed. And yeah, it wasn't a lot of people. The Mexican repatriation, they do try to compare that to ethnic cleansing. The thing about ethnic cleansing or racial cleansing, anything with cleansing means to remove, to permanently remove. Deportation, not permanent remove. You can eventually come back over time. Cleanser, ethnic cleanser is basically compare. You need to compare that to genocide, and that happened to a lot of different groups of people. Native Americans is a genocide. Aborigine, Tasmanians, that's genocide. Some parts of Africans, genocide. Um, some parts in the Middle East, genocide. Asian, genocide. So you gotta be very, very skeptical when you talk about genocide and ethnic cleansing to a mass deportation. And that's the thing I have a problem with. People looking at deportation like it's ethnic cleansing. If you're look, then they probably had no grounds to do it. Some of them was already here. Some of them went through the channel. But now, probably today, a lot of them came here illegally. So they have every right to get deported. That's the way it is. But yeah, I'll definitely put that link so you guys can read and read about it, about that. Now that was more racially well, but anything that pretty much what the United States do or any European majority dominant society system will implement got a racial overtone to it. But yeah, I'll definitely leave the link below the comments. You guys can look at it and definitely hit the like and subscribe, and we keep it moving, fam. All right, one.